Aloha, my friends. Mark J. Lindquist here, your host of America 2.0. What is America 2.0, you say? Well, there's a group of us out in society who have decided that this garbage that goes on in Washington and all the time that we spend worrying about what these idiots in DC are doing, that's not worth our time. That we in society, away from the garbage that happens out there, and away from the distractions, and away from the I don't know, I guess could you call it a vacuum of power? Away from all that, we have to gather out here in the real world, and we have to start developing solutions that make sense and a real plan to fix the mess that is the federal government. You know, this thing has been going on for 250 years, and the great experiment in self-governance, miraculously, it continues yet today. However, I do believe that in the next 250 years, that is not guaranteed, that the United States of America and, us being able to call ourselves a democracy, a free country, I don't think that that is a given. I don't think it is something we can take for granted. And there's a group of us out here in society that I know understand that the freedom that we enjoy, it must continually, generation after generation, it's like we got to renew the subscription, right? We have to pay our dues every generation in order to maintain this longest consecutive run of democracy that the world has ever known in its history. And so, anyway, I don't know. I guess maybe more basic terms, we could say, look at the garbage and shit show that is Washington, D.C., and don't you think that we should fix it? Don't you think it's possible that we can? And we are envisioning an America 2.0, an update to our operating system, an update to our language, an update to our thinking about politics that has nothing to do with partisan politics and right versus left and Republican versus Democrat. We at America 2.0 believe that we need to move beyond an era of Republican and Democratic Party rule. And that's why we are starting America 2.0. So a little bit of backstory from me. Who am I? I am the founder of America 2.0. And what does that role entail? It entails conversations like these. It entails thinking differently about what we must do in America to renew the possibility of democracy and freedom and self-governance. I'll cut to the chase here. One of the ideas that I would like to see us implement as a society is expect more of our leaders. Goodness sakes, we expect nothing of our leaders. We expect it to be a complete dumpster fire. And congressional approvals are 20 and 30% every year. And it's idiotic that we reelect them 95, 97% of the time. Like that in and of itself, those two statistics that most people, we're talking 2 out of 3 people or more believe that the people in Washington, sometimes it's 4 out of 5 people, that the people in Washington are doing a bad job, that we do not believe in them. Yet we reelect them 95% of the time. Like if that doesn't show you that the decision-making ability of society when it comes to politics, if that doesn't show you that something is off or is in dire and desperate need of retooling, better thinking, better approach to problem solving, then I don't know what does. If that isn't compelling enough for you, well, then look at some other element of the federal government and politics today that would lead you to believe we can't continue like this. We have to fix government in Washington. I don't believe in any of them. As you listen to me more and more, you'll realize that I hate Republicans and I hate Democrats. And not that I hate the people. I hate I hate the institution of the Republican Party. I hate the institution of the Democratic Party because they are so void of imagination. They are so void of solutions that work for the people. I am making the case that Republicans and Democrats would rather have the other party in charge than for the people to come up with something completely new, because they are only concerned about the preservation of their own power. They are not concerned about the betterment of society as a whole. They are presenting solutions that 50% plus one would agree to. They have never challenged themselves to come up with a suite of solutions that 80% of us agree upon. And that's the first thing that I want our generation, my generation, and younger of voters to expect, is that we should be expecting of our leaders to present solutions that unite us. And don't call 50 plus one united. United, to me, is everybody agrees, yeah. I mean, 80% of us say, yeah, that's the best we can do for now. That would be a refreshing approach to politics, I believe. And so the cornerstone of America 2.0, from my brain only, and once we get this out to the rest of millions of people, there's going to be better ideas. But my first good idea is that everybody that we elect and send to Washington and everybody who works in the federal government should constantly and continually be seeking solutions that 80% of us can agree upon. And do not tell me that on the hot button issues, even of abortion and gun control and immigration and taxation and role of the federal government and, women's rights and liberty, all these things, these big issues, don't tell me that you can't find a solution that 80% of the people agree upon, because we've never tried. We've only ever settled for 50 plus one. And we have to get rid of all kinds of mess in the government, which is Citizens United and the money in politics and the completely stupid opinion that a corporation is a person and money is free speech. You got to be kidding me. Gerrymandering, we have to get rid of lobbyists. We have to get rid of, flag officers and members of the military being able to consult and lobby, former Congress people being able to become lobbyists. There's so many things that are wrong with the federal government, and you know it. So we need people who are of clear thinking and high integrity and good character, people that you would trust to make decisions behind closed doors. And I wouldn't trust any of these people in Washington to do that, because they are subscribed to an inferior model. I refuse to believe that it is impossible, that we can't do it. Look at the tools that we have available to us today and the ability for people to spread good ideas on YouTube and X and Instagram. We live in a world today where a good idea could spread instantaneously across the whole of American society. And within 24 hours to a week, every single person with the internet could have heard about that good idea or event or happening. But we, the people, have not yet, to date, taken advantage of the fact that we live in such a time. And I think it's important for us to really spend some time. Here's what I'm presenting as an option. All the time that you spend on social media or on your phones every day, thinking about politics, consuming the news, worrying about what's going on in Washington. I get it. People say, well, we have to stay informed. Okay, well then, do you really think that the country is going to be uninformed with the news structures and reporting that we have set up so far? Obviously, if things, if shit hits the fan, people will hear about it. But there needs to be a group of us out in society working on a solution about how to fix the federal government and how to make government of, by, and for the people. How to improve the processes and systems of frameworks that make up self-governance. Somebody has to be working on that. in earnest. And if a dumpster fire, starts spreading too rampantly, I don't know if that makes any sense how I'm saying that. If it gets too out of hand, well, then of course we need to be paying attention and keeping our leaders accountable. But right now, we're not keeping any of the leaders accountable. Look at the things that they're doing in Washington. They're ruining America and our good name around the world. They're ruining American society. How do I back that up? Look at how divided people are today. I mean, there's neighbors in small communities hating neighbors because of the yard sign that they put out in front of their yard every 2 years. Are you kidding me? That is not the United States of America. You know who's doing that to American communities? Politicians, members of political parties. We are in desperate need of a transition from the era of Republican Party and Democratic Party rule. And I want to live in an America 2.0 where those two parties don't exist. Ultimately, probably we will end up with factions of voters and people who believe different things. But wouldn't it be great if we had 10 parties? Of course, and all the naysayers that think they're smarter than me are going to say, well, you can't do it because da 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 da. Well, have we tried in our lifetime? Have we tried? No, we have not. We've only tried these two idiots, which are Republicans and Democrats. Now, again, I'm not calling the American citizens idiots. I'm calling the institutions of Republicanism and Democratic Party stupid. Look at the results that you're giving us. Americans hate Americans. If that isn't an indictment and a reason why you should be fired and removed from power and voted out, then I don't know what is. You are making Americans hate each other. That end result is an F in school. That end result is something that is unacceptable at your work, at your job. If your goal was to represent society and lead us as a nation, and the way and place you've led us to is a house divided, neighbors hating neighbors, Americans shooting each other because of the party they belong to, then you have not done your job. Then you should be voted out and unemployed. And you should take the walk of shame out of the Capitol, and you should be handed your pink slips, your walking papers. That we still believe in you is mind-blowing. I know that there are smart people out in society who are capable. They have good decision-making processes. They've proven their worth. They've built great companies. They've solved huge problems. They've brought great products to the market. They've managed huge budgets. They've done it responsibly. They're people of character. They're people that people want to work for. They're people of vision. They have, integrity. They want what's best for the people. They act responsibly. They act in a transparent manner. There are good people in the world. They're just not working in Washington, in elected government. We need to make America 2.0 a place where these good people are willing to take a sabbatical from their work and solve these problems in government for a season. I don't know what just happened. If the lights went dim, I know what happened. That light went out. See, I'm an amateur YouTuber thus far and still learning how to, there we go, still learning how to do these lights. So thank you for bearing with me. So that's the morning coffee rant about the fact that we need to make this change. The best solution that I can come up with thus far is for us to gather here on accounts like this, present better ideas. 80-20 thinking is one of them. Let people in on the conversation and lead them to believe that it is possible. And get a movement of thought going that doesn't start from division, that moves beyond party politics, that moves beyond ideology and me versus you, red versus blue thinking about politics, and instead moves us closer toward government of, by, and for the people, and the promise that we could live up to in the United States. So I'm going to fix this light. It's America 2.0, and we will come up with this whole process of me just doing a TED Talk a couple times a day about this topic. I want you to know there's a little method behind my madness here, is that I've been a motivational speaker and a professional communicator speaker for 11 years professionally. Top of the industry, top 1% motivational speaker in America. What you're seeing here are my rehearsals, right? I'm letting you in on the rehearsal process of, back in the days of being an entertainer, we'd call it, shedding and working out the first draft. I have no delusions that what I'm saying here in these 16 minutes and 12 seconds, this will probably be a 20-minute video. I have no delusion that everything that I say will be brilliant. But there certainly will be people who will enjoy hearing a new language and a new angle on these things. This is more like a podcast conversation or a monologue. But what I'm doing here, part of my process as a professional speaker, is how do you find the good stuff to put on stage? What you do is you say 10,000 words, and then of the 10,000, you pick a few hundred at a time that said, oh, as I was talking that out, that really sounded good to me. And you clip it and you put it out on stage, and it's good enough to put in front of the people. That's what I'm doing here. I am showing you my process of, you get in a room and you talk about a subject, and every once in a while, maybe once every hour or so, once every 20 minutes or so, you find a nugget that had not occurred to you in this freewheeling, open environment where there's no judgment, there's no pressure. You're just talking about something, and your brain kicks out an idea or a way to say it, a way to phrase it, a way to communicate and articulate the topic at hand in a way that you have never thought about it or said it before. And you have to say it verbally. You have to say it out loud, because until you say it out loud, until you are shouldering the responsibility to articulate it verbally out loud, you don't know for sure if it's something that is worthy of being put in, into a speech. As I put hundreds of hours of this topic of America 2.0 and what we have to build as a country out on the internet, I am certain that I will find the right 60 minutes and 120 minutes and 4 hours and 8 hours of material that we can bring to the people and put in a playlist on YouTube that says, if you really want to know what Mark's movement of thought is about, then go listen to chapter 1 of America 2.0. He's put it in a playlist on YouTube, and these are the best thoughts that he has come up with on America 2.0, the future of American politics. And it's 8 podcasts long of an hour each, right? That's what I'm doing here. I am willing to do this unedited, uncut in front of the public, because I'm not embarrassed about my process. I'm not embarrassed about the fact that I have to say 100,000 words in order to get 10,000 that are any good. In fact, in reality, I've written probably since 2020, since the pandemic, I've probably written 4 million words, right? And a lot of it is like dictation into my phone, because I'm a speaker. I say it out loud. Probably 4 million words. I know that I've said 8 to 10 million words in front of live audiences in my life. I know that for a fact, because I know that the average speech is 6 to 8,000 words if you're going to speak for an hour, right? I know that my rate of speech is XYZ, and I know that that's how many words come out when I speak for an hour. If I speak for 4 hours, it's probably going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 25,000 words, maybe 20,000, who knows? But I know that if I say 1 million words, And I mean, let's figure it out. 1,000,000 words. And I probably, let's call it 7,500 words per hour. Well, that's going to be 133 hours, right? Of material that I'm, we got cinematic mode, so I don't know how to do it. So we're going to need 133 hours of material in order to get maybe the priceless hour, right? The priceless maybe 90 minutes that we're going to present in a, YouTube special a year from now, before the elections or something. And so this is my process. I have no expectations of whether this will be something that people enjoy or want to be a part of, but why the heck not? Why the heck not put it on YouTube and see if the algorithm finds an audience for this kind of material? Who knows? It might be one of the ways that we build a couple million person audience, is this kind of conversation about removing our mindsets from party politics and imagining something new that we could build together, separate from the realities and garbage that is the current political scene. So that's what you just heard 21 minutes and 49 seconds of, is you heard a guy who's passionate about fixing American politics, talking about it in a way, and every 20 minutes, every TED Talk that I give, I'm hoping that I can find one nugget. That's my standard. That's, as I go back and listen to these later on today, I will say, was there something that I said that was new? Was there a way to say it that I had not articulated it in that manner? Did I set up the point in a way that I had not done it before? If I say it that way, will people nod their head when they hear me talk? There's a 10-minute video on my Facebook page. I'm pretty sure it's set to public, that I published, 4 or 5 days ago, that is a 10-minute rant. That there's a lot of stuff that came out there ad lib, that I will keep. And hey, if you haven't heard that, go to my Facebook page, Mark J. Lindquist. It's my personal Facebook page, and go back to, let's see what the date was. It would have been somewhere around Friday, the 22nd of August, Friday, 22nd of August. And go listen to that 10-minute rant. I'll probably post that once a month or something so it can be refreshed on top of my feeds. It's actually on this YouTube channel as well. 10 minutes and 15 seconds, I think, is the vertical video, Lindquist rant on politics. I think it's titled right now, "My Generation Will Fix American Politics." And, that's a good start. And that 10 minutes and 15 seconds was the result of hours and hours of me thinking on this topic. And it was my, first crack at trying to articulate the reasons why we must and the reasons why it is possible for us to change politics in America in a post-Republican Party and Democratic Party rule. So I got to get out of here. First of all, I got to go to the toilet because I've been drinking too much water. But I'll be back for the next episode of Fixing Politics in America. And we're going to take it back to the pandemic of 2020 and some of my thoughts that started back then. So this has been America 2.0, Fixing American Politics, with your host, Mark J. Lindquist. And we'll see you next time for the next episode.